few minutes, and then we'll
Okay.
head into it.
All right. You may share the link.
Yeah, let's share this link out.
Well,
And
welcome,
then
everybody.
I was going to do the welcome here in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take your lead on it. I got it right here when you're ready.
Okay.
And I'm just going to.
Ready?
Oh, I was going to share the load. Let me share the link.
Okay. Oh,
Let me
no shit. Let me share the link too.
share the link. Oh, there I go. See, I sound like a man. Oh, no.
Share. Let me share it and then.
Hold
Okay.
on. Okay, share. Snapchat. To everybody in public. I'm going to do it to public. I've never done public on there before.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do. You hear my door? Um, as for Joel Rifkin. Rifkin. Sorry. And then I just need to share it to a couple of people real quick. Starting with you. Oh.
I already shared it out.
Oh. Well, too bad.
I shared it out.
Let's see. Okay, there.
Let me know when to start.
All right, we got a couple people on. When you come on, say hello. We can see your comments.
Well, some of us can. I cannot.
Oh, you
Until
should
you
be
put it
able.
up.
You should be able to see it now. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Right there.
Yeah,
Well,
click on
I'm
chat.
going to get started.
All right, go ahead.
Welcome back, listeners, to another spine-chilling episode of Dark Shadows, where we dive into the most terrifying tales of true crime and the haunted histories that linger in the true shadows.
That's right, Carly. Today we're peeling back the layers of one of the New York's most notorious serial killers, Joel Rifkin, a name that sends shivers down the spines and evokes chilling sense of dread, to be honest.
Rifkin's story is not just one of murder, it's a harrowing journey into a mind of a man who roamed the streets of New York in the late 1980s and early 1990s, leaving a trail of terror in his wake with a chilling count of 17 confirmed victims. His heinous acts have left a mark on the city and its history.
Well, as we explore this dark chapter, we'll uncover the haunting details of his crimes, the psychological factors that drove him to commit such unspeakable acts, and how he managed to evade capture for so long. That's a whole thing. And we'll also discuss the impact on the families affected by this action and how society grapples with the understanding of such evil.
So grab your headphones, prepare yourself for a journey into darkness as we navigate through the terrible world of Joel Rifkin. This is not just a story about a killer, it's about fear, obsession, and the haunting echoes that remain long after the crimes have been committed.
Join us as we shine a light on this chilling tale that continues to haunt New York City. Are you ready to face your fears?
Oh, yeah,
Let's dive in.
always. Okay. But before we get started, we're going to quick read a little story. It is A Dead Lover Beckons. The woman is happily married now. She lives with her husband and children on the northeast, crowded half streets. It is a reason which we will become obvious that she requests that her true identity not be revealed. The name Peg will suffice for the purpose of this story. Peg once lived in a home on the avenue in the city, and it was there that the first signs of possible ghostly activity were noticed. Everybody who came to Fulton Avenue house felt the presence, she said. She reeled off several events that led her to believe that unearthly force was infesting her home, invading her life. At times, the family dog's chain, which hung securely on the back of the door, began to swing on its own. Other times, the Great Dane itself would growl, bark, and dash about it if it did it was disturbed by invisible beings. There were loud crashes and thumps from the basement. There was recurrent sound from the second floor bedroom with sound like Peg, in her words, a clock on the wall mounted. Shades rolled up on their own, a clock on the wall mounted to a large nail embedded into a plaster wall, flipped off the wall and crashed onto the floor. Finally, Peg moved from Fulton Ave house to the one in the northeast side of town, a house once occupied by deceased uncles of Peg's. One night, while innocently watching the drawing of the daily lottery number, Peg and her husband noticed that the winning digits were 335, which those were always played by her uncle who once lived in this house. Within seconds, a picture fell from its mounting on a wall. The clock dropped from another wall, and according to Peg, there was a series of loud booms. Peg's husband and partner in her tale of things that go bump in the night, she felt the spirit in their house. Actually tried to enter the body of her husband once, causing him to act uncharacteristic of himself. He even admitted one time that he felt the presence at this location. Although many times signs seem to point to the spirit being that of her uncle, Peg believes that they might be another possibility. One time she said, I had my fortune read. It was kind of strange. I was told that I had a spirit that was with me at all times. It is
Mm.
in love with me.
Oh
Peg did
no.
have a boyfriend who proposed to her while
Oh,
they were both teenagers.
does that
They
remind
never
you of
met.
somebody?
They never married, however, and the young man died in an auto accident several years ago. I always loved him very dearly, Peg confided, and once I even told my husband I would find that my first love difficult to resist if he would ever come back. Perhaps only he can. Is he?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Can you imagine like having a ghost boyfriend? Like I know it's a thing on The Sims, but
I think I could resist that. I don't know about you,
I'd
but
be like I'd be like, listen, homeboy, like you ain't got nothing you got nothing for me. You don't
we
pay
had our
rent.
time. We had our time. It kind of lips, you kind of. So it's
Yeah,
over
yeah.
now.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So
Adios.
those are you watching that normally watch. Riss is not here tonight, but she should be joining us next week. She's just feeling under the weather. So send her good vibes and send some prayers that she will get it together and get back on here. Because
Soon, right? Soon.
yes, if you're watching, I miss you, baby. I'm so- what does the thing go on the show? It goes, I'm sorry,
Sorry.
baby.
I know.
I'm just
He's
kidding.
petty. Oh, you're talking about Cat in the Hat.
That's it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he's like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm just kidding. And that just like lives rent free in the back of my head.
That was the whole reason my son was
Mhm.
banned from that one for a while because he
Uh,
kept saying it over and over again.
oh, but it's so cute. David's not going to be here. He's got some stuff going on. Death. So
Oh,
I
it's
don't
not
want to put
good.
his business out there, but he won't be
Yeah.
here today. But that's okay. We can. We don't need a man. I'm just,
We don't need a man.
I'm just kidding, baby. I'm sorry. I
We
need
will
a
miss
job.
you. We'll see you next time. Oh,
If they listen to this, they're gonna be like, "I hate you."
I hate you guys so much. I'll be back.
Also, how can you hate anybody with lights like this? That's high or what?
Fa la 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 la.
It's a fa la 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 llama.
Llama.
Oh, okay, so we're doing Joel the wait
Joel the
Joel
Ripper.
Riff. Yeah, so Joel Rifkin. This is not Jack the Ripper. That's a whole
Nope.
different story. That's what I got confused on. But no, so this is like a New York serial killer from like late '80s, early '90s. We'll go into the timeline of that. I think we both have the years on it.
Yeah.
So if you're an '80s, '90s baby, listen up because I had no idea. So Okay, so you have the background.
Yes, I have his early life. Both his parents were young college students. His biological father was an Army veteran. He was adopted by upper middle class couple on Long Island.
Oh.
He actually performed really bad in school when he was because he had learning disabilities when he was younger, and he was very unpopular. He got picked on a lot, but he did finally graduate from East Meadow High School in 1977. He went to college in Nassau, and then he went to State University of Brockport, and then to Farmington. So he
Oh.
did get some down. He left before earning a degree. Oh,
Well, he got some education. It looks like he
yes,
was like maybe he just kind of had like a bad background, and then he was trying to kind of maybe do something
overcome it.
better with his. Yeah.
Yeah. He did become self-employed as a landscaper. His father had committed by overdosing after having suffered cancer for several months.
Hmm.
I don't know if that was his biological or his adopted father. I couldn't really tell you about that part. On August 22nd, 1987, he was arrested in a prostitution ring in
What?
Hampstead, New York, after offering an undercover female police officer money for sex.
What?
Yes. His trial only started June 28th, 1993. So he had
Yeah.
a good time of like a good distance in between his first killing and to when he was caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did get 203 years, up to 203 years in prison. He got
Hmm.
second degree murder for 9 counts, but he actually, I think he offed. How many people did he off? Do you know? Like
Um.
13?
He no. He had 17
No, 9 to
murders.
17. Yeah.
And
Wow.
then he went to they picked him up in 1993, but I'll get into that. I got
All
all
the
the
nitty gritty.
details. Yeah. I got the
He,
drama.
he
It's
was
a
born. Oh, sorry.
Oh, if you're eating like meat or something right now, you probably shouldn't.
Oh, if you like me, it's fine.
Unless you're a psychopath.
Hey. No name calling in here. He was born January 20th, 1959, in New
Okay.
York City, New York.
Mhm.
His other name was Joel the Ripper.
Mhm.
Just to let everybody know, his span of crimes went from 1989 to 1993 that we know of.
Yeah.
Remember, entertainment purposes only for this.
Mhm.
Just to let everybody know. He also had in 1993 he was mentioned on Seinfeld, on an
Hmm.
episode of Seinfeld, just to let everyone know. Features character named Joel Ripkin as a boyfriend of Elaine Burns or something. She begs him to change his name because of association with the cereal offer.
Oh.
That was Seinfeld, just to let you know, a little cute.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
fun
it's
fact.
stupid, but fun fact.
No, I do that
Well,
all the time. I'm like, fun fact.
he I told 203 years in prison for 9 women. He could have killed up to 17.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He's in prison at Clinton Correctional Facility.
Is he still alive?
I do believe he is. Let me check. I do believe.
So I'm gonna go into his story a little bit. Like,
Yeah, I don't have a death for him.
oh, don't write him, please. Do not. If you are lonely and single, don't be writing him.
Don't be a douche. It's plain and simple. I'm
Right.
sorry.
So I kind of went into like the crime scene, which is so weird because normally Carly's where we flip flopped.
Yeah, I know, right?
so, so this detective, let me reach this out a little bit. So the detective told this story. The detective on the scene said he woke up on a misty morning, just to be called to a crime scene. Blah, blah. Um, the okay, let me tell you what happened. This golfer, he threw the ball near the water, and that's where he found the head bum bum bum. It was laying openly, no ears, no eyes, or hair damage. Only from the nose down was destroyed. The murderer had pulled the jaw down and extracted all the teeth. They did a drawing of what she might have looked like, but there was just no one would come to claim the body. They finally contacted a special agent. They explained that the killer had physically removed teeth um, and caught him up, obviously. They said that this man, obviously, he knew what he was doing. He did not get want to get caught. He knew. This is so funny. They said they knew that he was white. He was a single man, and he was probably living alone, and he probably had a car. Um, they had like a wide range of like maybe this is where he works, but there was just not any. There wasn't really much to go off of. Um, as this time he thought, this man may have killed for the first time, but they knew that it wouldn't be his last. So they're like, okay, this is definitely this guy's first killing, but we definitely know that he's going to do it again. The second victim was Julie Blackbird. I'm going to use their names, and I have the numbers. A lot of this goes off the numbers. I'll get into that later. I don't want any disrespect for any of the victims, anything like that. I'm just telling you the story of what happened. Um, so the second victim was Julie Blackbird. He picked her up in Lower Manhattan. His mother, when his mother was away, he took off a leg and CHOP in the basement, similar to what he did to the first one, obviously. He would put the body parts in boxes with cement and just scatter around New York City. Um, and so Jolie had not been found because of that, because it's just. At this point, they didn't know if it was the same killer. His third victim was Barbara Jacobs, and that was in New York City. Blegant, I don't, I guess I tried to spell it, but he blagent her body while she slept after hours of disposing of the body. Um, so, like, sorry, hold on, let me slow down because I'm like not explaining this right. So basically, while she was asleep, and then with a knife, and after hours of disposing the body, right? The fire department was doing some training, minding their own business, and then they found her body up the river. Now, he must be trying to get caught. That's all I'm saying. Like, like they're just you seeing a pattern here. Um, the fourth victim was Mary Ellen DeLuca. She was found on the side of the road and an hour out of New York City. Victim five was Yon Lee, was found floating in the East River. In 1991, more bodies were found because there were so many murders going on in the late 1980s, early 1900s. Carly would know this because that's what kept her up at night. That's all. That's how she knows. Um, but because there was just so much crime, they were like, we can't really connect the dots. There's this going on. I don't know. Everybody's a killer. Everybody's a suspect.
Yeah,
Um,
they had a lot of serial killers back in the 80s and 90s popping up.
that's
They
what I'm
really
saying.
did.
Like a lot of the stories that you find, like they're
They're
always around that time
interesting.
frame. So I'm not surprised. Like
And did
there
you
was.
know? Oops, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
He started having daydreams about R-ing and stat blank women, and he got his inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock's Frenzy
Oh
from
my gosh.
1972. So he actually daydreamed after watching that film about doing this, and he just put it into with prostitutes. He put it into perspective and did it.
I don't know if they were like prostitutes. They didn't really
Yeah,
give like the
they were
backstory.
prostitutes, most of them.
Oh,
Yeah, it would target. He targeted prostitutes. That was his thing. I'm not saying they all were. We don't know. We weren't
yeah.
there, but yeah, that's who he. His passion for prostitutes were increased as he entered Nassau Community College in 1977. He frequently skipped his classes and rarely showed up to his part-time jobs. He preferred to spend his time with prostitutes. So he had a big thing about prostitutes. Just that's a little backstory when we're going into the Bigfoot.
Basically, like, I wonder if that kind of goes with what's that guy that I did the other day that had the blue, black glass blue eyes?
Oh, trying to think
Oh,
of him.
he
You
was
did
just,
Sam Cooke. I know that.
yeah, he was the guy that killed like 96
Oh
women.
yeah, that was another prostitute killer.
Yeah. Um, well, okay, so victim 6, that was Jane Doe, and we'll get into that a little bit. But victim 7 was Lorraine Orvado. Victim 8 was Mary Ann Holloman. There's so many Marys. Victim 9 was also a Jane Doe. Hopefully not a third Mary. I'm just saying. He dumped the bodies in numerous places in New York City. So back to victim 6 was placed in a barrel and has still not been identified. 7 and 8 were found in barrels in Coney Island Creek. Now, victim 9 on May 13th. This is where it gets kind of like creepy. Um, May 13th, 1992, the detective received a call with a possible body in the water. A body in the barrel, it was kind of like bouncing, and it was between Brooklyn and Queens, and they were able to get from New York, or sorry, Newtown Creek to the coroner's office. They proceeded to pull the person, and this man had been on the job for like 10 years. This is the investigator, and he had to actually run out of the room because he was about to be sick. He said this is him actually saying, like, I really like these interviews because you can kind of get the feel for it, but he said, like, her fingers were disintegrated, her toes were gone, facial features were almost skeleton. They thought fixation would be the reason for the death, but then the this detective got a call for saying that they found two more bodies, and those were Lorraine and Marianne. Remember 7 and 8? So that's 7 and 8, and so I don't like to call them the numbers just because,
They're more than that.
yeah, they're
They're
definitely. I
real
feel like
people.
it's kind of disrespectful, but for the purpose of this is how they kind of worked with
Yeah,
it. Um, but we're putting the names behind the numbers, so that helps, I think. The detective was like, "Wow, this must be a serial killer." Like, that's literally how he said it. It's like, "Wow." Um, they did not want to panic the citizens of New York. After killing 9 victims the next year, like this is a whole year later, Rifkin went on to kill 8 more. So this would be Anna Lopez, number 10, Iris Sanchez, 11, Violet O'Neill, 12, Mary Kathleen Williams, not Gallagher, number 13. Um, Remember Mary Catherine Gallagher? Sorry. it's, it's not funny. But Jenny Soto is 14, Evans is 15, Lauren Marquise is 16. Okay, so I'm almost done, I promise. His killing spread would have continued, but it ended on June 1993. Let me tell you what happened. So he's in like Long Island, New York. It was they were like setting the scene. They're like, it was so quiet that day. You know, it's always calm before the storm, and the police were driving around. You know, just checking the area. You know, they're policing, I guess. And when they noticed a pickup truck in the center lane on the highway, as they got closer, they realized there was no license plate on the vehicle. Boop, red flag. Okay, they turned on the sirens and they were pull, they're just like pulling him over, but he did not pull over. He kept driving, so they activated the pursuit. It was Trooper Ruin, called in and stated that it was a failure to comply because he would not pull over. He had a Mazda pickup. This went on for 20 minutes. Now he had he said he even had the truck on 2 wheels. Like they thought he was going to roll this vehicle over. Like he was just driving so ridiculous. Um, and but instead, he didn't roll over, but he hit a light pole. Um, when the trooper got to him, he put his hands up and he's like they automatically noticed that there was a horrible smell and they know somebody, so they were shocked. That's what they said. They were shocked, I tell you. Routine truck stops were never the same to the trooper after that. And I can imagine why, you know. So they could see like a body rolled up in a blue tarp in the back of the truck, and then they would peel it back, and they could see the shoulder of someone that was starting to decompose. Stephen Louder was the main investigator. He was the one that got the confession. This is a completely different investigator from the beginning. Um, he was the one that got the confession. There were 17 murders, and they arrested him. Detective Louder said that Rifkin was calm. They asked him, "You seem like you have done this before, have you?" And he was like, yeah, 17 times." And he confessed. They gave him papers and maps, and he wrote down all the confessions. His memory, as he said, was pretty much on point. They had pictures of the search warrant. He was a messy, messy, messy person. That is my words. He was messy. He kept what he called trophies. You'll see this a lot with like the serial killers that we talk about. They'll have some kind of like trophy. So these were like jewelry, bags, clothes. They found some IDs as well. So they found some, and they would match those. He would match them to the victims. Now, okay, number 17, Tiffany Brescotti. I love that last name. They assigned all of the items to each number, and they were able to return to their families. So that's why they had the numbers, so they could be like, okay, one, this is her, you know, who and who goes where. Obviously, the family was devastated. The police tried to keep it on the down low, but the media just went crazy, showing pictures. Like the family, she was kind of like they shouldn't have leaked it. Like it wasn't their business, and that was pretty disrespectful to the family. But that's a whole nother subject for another day. But yeah. The family member did say that Tiffany was 16 and she actually left for New York on her own. So, but I didn't put two and two together. I didn't know like all of this was like mostly, maybe not all of them, but it sounded like most of them.
Majority of them were prostitutes, even the younger ones that found themselves out on the streets at a young age had to do something. That's something I actually clash with. I hate when I'm not saying all detectives or all cops treat people like this, but when I was younger, I found two bodies behind the truck stop where I was working. And the sheriff at the time treated them like they were no ones because they were
Um,
prostitutes. And it really set me off at a young age, at about 16, thinking, how dare you? They were mothers, aunts, sisters, daughters to somebody.
yeah,
Somebody loved them women. And for him to treat them the way he treated that crime scene really pissed me off. And like I said, it's not all detectives because I have detectives in my family, I have cops in my family. I you got good ones, you got bad ones, just like in everything. But his idea back in the 90s, this happened, that they were trash because they were prostitutes. It made these women easy pickings. We got to remember that. A lot of these serial killers went for people that were down on their luck, drug addicts, people that society
yeah,
would not technically, as they put it, miss, which I don't believe that at all. People did miss these women. And but that whole thing set me up, I think, to really dive into these cases because
yeah,
these women were someone. They were somebody loved them. Somebody misses them to this day, especially the Jane Does.
yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to take you in mind into Ripken for his first killing quick. And this is ready. Now it's going to get really graphic. So I'm going to warn you now, education purposes only.
Oh,
Disclaimer: 18 and above, please. By March 1989, Rifkin could no longer fight the violent mental fantasies. Ripkin waited for his mother to leave on a business trip and then picked up a young prostitute named Susie. He brought the woman back to his Long Island home where he bludgeoned her with a artery shell. When she continued to struggle, he hurted it.
yeah,
Then he just like he took the corpse apart with the X-Acto knife, removing her identity by severing her fingertips and removing her teeth from her skull, uh, with pliers, by the way. He had several. He had. No, I'm sorry. This is hard.
Mm.
He had severed her head and put in an old paint can. He
This is
stashed.
the first one, right?
Yeah, this is Susie.
Okay, yes. Okay. Sorry.
He hid her severed head in an old paint can. He stashed the rest of her body in garbage bags. Ripken dumped Susie's head and legs in the woods at Hopewell, New Jersey, and tossed the arms and torso in the East River, like you talked about back in New York. Despite his elaborate attempts to conceal the murder, a member of Hopewell Valley Golf Club found the can containing Susie's head several days later. Police were unable to uncover the victim's identity or who was responsible at that time for the murder. Now, going back to this whole thing, society, how they view these women.
Hmm.
This does have an impact on some of these serial killers, how long they can get along with doing this. And we got to realize that. Like
Yeah.
they would have, if this was like high society member, probably was been caught earlier on. I do have that feeling because he
Yeah.
chose his victims very wisely. He got away with it for years.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Nowadays, we see it a little differently, I do believe. And this wasn't all detectives. There are some hard ass, good ass detectives out there. Thank them for that.
Yeah.
Thank yous for that job. Finally, bring to light these murders that been concealed from the public for so long, too. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
But that was just his first insight of his first killing. Could you imagine what she went through?
I know my brain is just like, oh my gosh, like I got nauseated.
Again, waiting until his mother was out of town again, Ripken drove Blackbird to his Long Island home. The next morning, Ripken beat his victim, this time with a table leg, before strangling,
Mhm.
her. He took the corpse as before and took it apart. But this time he placed the body parts in buckets weighted with concrete and tossed the remains of this victim in the East River in the Brooklyn Canal.
Yeah.
He started his own landscaping business in 1991 and began using the rental job site to stash corpses until he could properly dispose of them.
Yeah.
So he had a reason to do everything he did with all everything. He always had a reason. Like he started his business, it was all about his business. Nobody
Yeah.
else was around this man. Like this guy, and he's still alive, by the way.
Hmm.
The police were rarely able to identify the victims at the time, just to let
Yes.
everybody know. But yeah, a lot of these women were prostitutes, as you read up on them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I know that it said somewhere like he had a long time. He had like 200 and something. Oh, there it is. 203 years in prison.
Yeah, he's still serving his time.
But he only got for 9 murders. He didn't get for the full 17.
He couldn't prove the full 17.
I mean, but that's
But
still
he
200 years.
yeah, that's true. But he described all 17 murders, writing out the names he remembered, even
Yeah.
sketching maps to help produce, like find
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like he gave them all the details, and he was like gave them a good map. It was pretty on point, is what that guy was saying. So I don't know why, but I mean, 203 years. How do you get that? It's like remember, I.
He was Aquarius, just to let you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
Regardless,
not. I'm
I know.
not an Aquarius. I am a nice July Cancer.
I'm just letting you know.
We're
um,
like, you know, that's really close to Riz's sign. She's a January Capricorn, and we're both water signs. I'm just saying, like, how
I'm
many?
Scorpion. I'm Scorpio.
Yep. So, let's see. Zodiac signs mostly, most likely.
Scorpio. Sorry, I looked that up already.
Oh,
Oh,
did you?
yeah.
It should
Maz,
be Gemini. I would assume Gemini.
they had a Gemini killer, right?
Well, I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
surprised. Um,
he was named the Gemini Killer.
there's the Zodiac. Well, the Zodiac killers. I
Oh
don't.
yeah,
I don't. We haven't got that to that one yet. I don't think.
no, we will.
I think. No, we don't have that this month. We were going to do it last month, but then something happened. But I'm not sure. Next week we have the Christmas Day murders from the Lawson family.
Dun dun
Sorry.
dun. Yeah, he was driving a Mazda truck. Just let everybody know. I'm
Yes.
looking at his police record on New York State Police, by the way. It's a great
Hmm.
website. If Texas has one, they all have them. You can look up state police files in your state, just to let y'all know.
Really?
Yes, you can. And they give you a great breakdown of what these people done. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm like, who can I look up in Texas? Ah.
It actually tells you what he pled to and what he got for each victim, too.
See, I didn't see that. I was looking for that, um, but I got the victims, and that was like the most
That's
important
the most,
thing,
yes.
and I got the bad story, but there's
Uh,
what happened to him. I just didn't get like the background. The only background I got was the 17th, which is Tiffany Briscotti. Briscotti.
And sadly, there's not a lot on him, really,
Hmm.
tell the truth. But I think we should always have more on the victims, anyhow, than the
Yeah.
actual infamous serial killer. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I like to dig deep. I like to see their background, like where they came from, like
Oh,
what
yeah.
led them to this crime. I don't know. I don't know. But this is why I don't get in trouble. This is why I don't do any things that would put me in a bad situation because I just know everybody be digging in about my background though.
Like, they asked if his childhood turned him into a serial murderer. And, like they kind of go into it. Like, here, I can quick read you about his early life. It's not that long. They don't have that much on it. It says Joel Ripken was born January 20th, 1959, to two unwed college students who gave him up for adoption. He was
Hmm.
adopted by Bern, whatever, and Janine Ripken at 3 weeks old. The family also included daughter Jan, adopted 3 years after Joel, lived in East Meadow, Long Island. From the moment
Hmm.
he stepped into his kindergarten class, Ripken was an outcast whose insecurities were amplified by learning disabilities. Along with tease and harassment from other students he developed into adolescence. Ripken resented manifested into violent sexual fantasies about female classmates who rejected and mocked him. Bullies often targeted Rifkin to establish himself as tough kids in elementary, middle, and according to the book. To avoid them, Ripken would regularly be in the last student lineup for the opening bell. He would also show up late to his first class and wait till other students had gone home when the school day ended before leaving. In high school, Ripken joined the track team in hopes that being part of an athletic clique would soften the bullying he endured. Instead, his teammates picked on him too, dunking his head in the toilet bowl, stuffing a dead chicken in his mouth, and filling his gym bag with eggs and shaving cream. Ripken believed he had gained some measures of acceptance by shooting photos for the yearbook club. But the female seniors overseeing the yearbook production didn't invite Ripken to the wrap up party. He was so hurt by that. He visibly winced when he spoke about that incident. The party snubbed, as well as having his camera stolen, had profoundly negative effect on Ripken. His mother told me that she had no idea he was being bullied that bad. But the yearbook committee not inviting him to their party was the only time she saw him visibly shaken to the core. Ripken in 1980s, where both of them attended the same college, this Murdoch guy, in upstate New York. While they didn't have classes together, the duo worked together on paid assignment for a boxing magazine to cover a match one semester. They struck up a brief friendship, but they lost touch with Ripken when he dropped out. In addition to suffering from undiagnosed dyslexia, Rifkin stuttered, had a difficult time following instructions, and was physically uncoordinated, which often frustrated his father, a structure engineer and a mathematician, like a math
Yeah.
person. Joel wasn't good at sports, wasn't good at math, and wasn't good at basic learning. Even though his father was a very patient man, he would get aspirated with his son's academic and athletic failures. So it made Joel feel like more of a failure. Rifkin found refuge with his mother. He had a very good relationship with her. They shared hobbies and gardening and photography together. A forensic expert and retired FBI profiler who had interviewed Rifkin's had researched his early years. Said most serial killers experience some form of trauma early in life that influences their violent behavior when they reach adulthood. With these type of offenders, they go through some kind of physical, psychological, sexual abuse. With Ripklin, clearly there was some bullying. Those around him back in the day perceived him as a dumb kind of guy.
Mhm.
The FBI profiler believes the childhood bullying Rifkin endured may have played a role in becoming a serial killer. He would isolate himself, internalize these fantasies without developing strong social constructs, says the FBI profiler. He
Yeah.
turned inward, point blank. That's what he put it. He turned inward.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he had a good relationship with mommy,
Hmm.
maybe not with daddy.
Well, that says something too. I mean, a lot of these like killers, like
You
they're
always blame the mama. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
they really do. That's true. But they'll be because dad is either an alcoholic, he's abusive and abusive, usually an alcoholic and abusive, or he's just not there.
Kind
Right.
of like, what's his name's dad? Because he liked gardening and photography too. He liked hanging out with his mom. Gacy. His dad would
Hmm.
pick on him for that too. His dad was the bully there too.
Oh,
We all
great.
know how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Say, stop the bullying, people. Stop the
Yeah,
bullying.
be nice. Like, you know, you get more bees with
Fl-
honey.
Get more flies with honey than you
Fly,
do with
yeah,
vinegar.
that's it.
Same. Be nice to one another. Let's stop making serial killers, please.
I remember when we like first started, like when we first started recording, you were like, you're like, listen, I just want to spread kindness to everybody. We really, I think
Yeah.
we all kind of blend in. We're all one person almost. We're just be nice. That's what I want to spread love. And then like months go by and you're like, quit being an asshole.
Stop bullying. Damn it. You turning serial killers. People.
I hope we haven't made you crazy.
It's the truth.
Yeah, because you started all sweet and like, I mean, you're still sweet and nice, but I'm saying like in the beginning you were like, everybody's part of the waterfall. Enjoy. Peace, love, light, love. And now it's like, you're an idiot.
Stop being an ass, man.
Yeah.
Bullying is never okay.
Let's come together, peace and harmony, and hold hands like we were when we were in middle school.
That's my yin yang story. I have two parts of me. I could be sweet or I could be an asshole.
That's the Scorpio though.
That is.
I've met like okay, so I have my mom's a Scorpio, my nana's a Scorpio. Well, I don't know, they're different from other people though. So like you and I have another friend that's a Scorpio. Okay, female friends, two Scorpios, right? And we're all really good friends. Like the friendship me and you have are just as good as me and her. And she she's so nice. She's always so nice. And then I would just speak my mind, not thinking about it. And then one day she goes, she's like, you're kind of mean. She's like, maybe you should, like, kind of the same things I was saying a while back. I was like, you can be honest but not be mean, you know? And she's like, and then I was like, how dare she? Um, and then one day I'd never seen her get mad, but one day I seen her get mad and I was like, who are you? But that's how she started. She started like, it's okay, just be nice, you know, everything will come together for peace, love, and harmony. And then one day she gets in a fight and stabs a man, and that's a whole story. But she's fine. She's fine. You know, we got out of that, and she got lawyers involved. It was a whole thing. I'm not going to tell her whole business like that, but yeah. So Scorpios,
We have a
you,
bite.
yeah, but I mean, for Scorpios, you guys gotta. I'm sorry, I just kind of moved from Rifkin to Scorpios, but it's like, man, like you really have to tick off a Scorpio. Like you really have to do something bad to make them blow up like that.
Like kill 17 women.
Yeah,
Just
now if you killed 17 women, good luck to you. Hopefully your judge is not a Scorpio.
death
I mean,
penalty.
I mean, even like a Cancer though, like
Yeah.
we can we're all it's just a water sign thing. Maybe a Pisces. Maybe you'd want a Pisces judge. They'd be like, "Well, I'm sorry you went through this, but you know."
See, I'm not. I'm like, okay, childhood, I get it. Childish drama, I get that. Trauma, get
Mhm.
it. But you kind of took 17 women's lives. To me, that was a dick move.
Yeah.
So,
If I was the judge, I'd be like, So I'm going to give you 203 years life. Plus, when you die and go to hell, you're going to have to serve in hell. And then when you come back into your next life, you're going to have to serve that whole life in prison.
basically, I'm going to let your body in the cell to rot.
I'm just, I just can't believe that they would put that many years, you know, like you only live like maybe 110 years if you're good, you know, you don't, and that's rare.
I,
So,
I just, I don't know. I
they're
still, I have a hard time with that.
like, do you think that they have the power to go to prison in the next life? Like, the judge cannot do that to you.
You can't, well, you got to prove this, you got to prove all of it, so they can't do that. But my thing is like, I'm type of bit like, if you die on me, I'm gonna like give you CPR and bring your ass back just so you can sit there longer in jail.
Yeah, because if you go, you're
Then
taking the
I'll
easy way out.
psychologically damage them. I'll be playing like victims' voices in a cell at
Because
night.
then
I
he's
wouldn't let
just,
it sleep. Uh
oh no, there are like people that do that, like
uh
you know, especially like the innocent people. Like I'm not saying,
Oh, he's not innocent now.
oh no. I'm sure he's either taken over the prison or he's,
Somebody's bitch.
yeah,
Nice way to put it.
yeah. It's true. It's
Let's hope
true.
for the latter.
Yeah, but I mean, that's probably why they give them life and they don't give them the death sentence because if you die, you're just gonna get away with it. And that's how some people may look at it. Like, I don't know. Depends who we're talking about.
What he did to these women was beyond. Like,
Hmm.
he took this beyond. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, he makes you sick.
Yeah, I was like, please don't be eating meat while you're listening to this podcast. I was trying to find.
It makes me want to watch Silence of the Lambs. No, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, no. I don't think I've ever watched that.
Oh, you got to.
Let's see.
So when I say it puts the lotion in the basket or gets the hose again, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, it looks like this got deleted somehow. Sorry. Move. I don't know why. Maybe I did it. Sorry. I was. Never mind. I'll tell you later. I was trying to put YouTube description on here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my description, their links got deleted. So, and I can put the links in here if y'all like. Let's see. Oh, sorry. If you put, oh, we got a comment. Okay, so this is David's friend, right? So he actually, what is going on? I'm so sorry. So if you're on, you can definitely follow him. He actually helped with like the little editing clips when David was on.
Oh, nice.
You remember the one that where he was like, David was making that joke about the book being thick.
Thick, thick. Yeah.
No, he goes, that book is thick. I just saw that. Sorry. Um, but yeah. So I know we're coming on to the end. Do you want to continue, or do you want to?
I want to go to bed. I'm tired.
All right, guys.
Sorry. Unless you want to stay on. I mean, I'm
I
tired.
need to get some Tylenol.
That's what I need. Okay, guys. Well, like, share, subscribe. We love y'all. Like always, be kind out there to one another. And blessed be.